Okay, how you doing, everybody? Welcome to my channel. What's up, YouTube squad? This is the Married to Medicine Season 8, Episode 3 review. I have exactly 15 minutes to do this review if I have to take my ass back to work. Now, before I get started, I did a post where I kind of talked about how this whole Asian hate thing is going on with what happened with the Atlanta shooting. And I put on there that there are a few African Americans that have come on my channel or on my Facebook page telling me that they don't feel comfortable supporting some Asians because of what they've experienced in the past, whether they're being followed in a beauty supply store, whether they're having all these experiences where they've ran into certain Asians that are racist and are completely anti-black because they're all about, you know, the lighter the skin is better, all that stuff. I don't know whether you yourself that's writing to me are part Asian. I don't particularly care about you being part Asian. I'm speaking facts on what certain experiences that African Americans have experienced, told me about it, and that's the reason why some of them are acting the way that they act when it comes to seeing this situation. Some of them are very bitter. They don't feel like supporting you because some of y'all didn't support them. And I spoke about some incident that happened with a previous historical artifact or whatever museum where they were comparing African Americans to primates and showing a kid yelling and there's like a monkey next to their face and another kid, you know, and there's like a baboon or a chimpanzee next to it that were resembling primates. And that was like a museum similar to something that King Leopold did when he was ravaging Congo. Okay, he basically took some of them abroad and had them sitting in farms as like a live museum for you to come and see the Africans, and they're feeding them like animals. You can leave a tip at the end. So these things have happened. So I put it on there as an example of one of the reasons why some African Americans are resistant to some of the stuff that are happening right now. And the lady got on my channel and tried to tell me that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So let me read you something. This was this was in June 2020. It's not that far off. Rwandan President Paul Kagame deports 18 Chinese back to China. 18 Chinese were sent back to China on Wednesday. This came after the general, Mr. Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, found out that they were mistreating Rwandan workers and grubbing lands of farming from them. Chinese people also took advantage of making workers work abnormal hours like slaves, Mr. Kagame said. Africa is a peaceful continent. We don't tolerate discrimination here or to be slaves again. This country is for Africans and those who mean well for us. I'm instructing those 18 Chinese to go back and never return back. Rwanda must enjoy their rights in their country. Let this be a lesson for the remaining Chinese and other investors. Respect us and we'll welcome you with our good hearts. So when you sit up there and tell me what I don't know, what I think I don't know, that some Asians are going into African countries. There was another incident, I don't know if it was Japanese with South Africa. They told them that they were going to come and create jobs for them in their country. Instead, they came and built a maximum security prison and sent all their worst offenders to that country and said, if you release them, they have to stay here in South Africa. They can't come back to our country. And now there was a time where South Africans were attacking Asians who came to visit because they just associated all of them in one bracket. Then you have what's happening in Nigeria right now. So I need you not to ever come up here and tell me what you think I know. You have the ability to research on your own. Why don't you do that instead of coming up here telling me what I can and cannot say about what's going on in this country? Otherwise, push on out. Now, let's get to Married to Medicine. So we know that COVID-19 is affecting everything except the gynecology department because Jackie's over here delivering babies in child shield and remember to take a shower. Then we have Toya still complaining about Eugene and how he works all the time. Meanwhile, Eugene is out there saving lives, hoping that he doesn't catch COVID himself because he's like this close to somebody that has COVID and he's thinking, I got to save this woman's life. But child, I hope I don't get COVID. And all Toya is doing is at home complaining. Then we have Heavenly inviting the girl Miracle. And they tell us the story. Miracle was a peaceful protester during the BLM protests. We know that some people did something stupid like go and start stealing during that time when it was supposed to be a movement to get attention to what's been happening to us. So the Black Lives Matter movement. So Miracle was there. She was peacefully protesting. And even though she never approached the popo walked up to her and punched her square in her face because she was asking questions about the man that was being arrested to make sure that she can let everybody know his credentials just in case something happened to him while he's in custody. So she lost her teeth. Heavenly, who I don't favor at all because I think that she's sneaky and she's messy, and I will tell you why in a future reviews as we go on. Heavenly decides to fly her out, which I thought was a beautiful thing, and to get her teeth fixed because of what they did. Now, y'all saw how these officers or whatever are so quick to attack African Americans who were peacefully protesting, but y'all go on Hulu and watch a documentary called 24 Hours Assault on the Capitol. In that documentary, you got to see inside view of what happened during the riots in the Capitol when that happened during the when they were trying to solidify solidify the votes from the states. And what happened? The law enforcement officers weren't gassing them or pepper spraying them. They were negotiating with them. If you leave now, we won't do anything to you. Whereas to the protesters for like Miracle sitting on the street, she got punched and she wasn't doing nothing. So next time, some of you are going to come up here and tell me, oh, that didn't happen. It's just, you're just making it up. Do the research yourself. I'm not here to educate you on every damn thing. So Jackie decides to meet up with Contessa because Contessa is now opening up her own practice called integrative medicine. It's a business and Black girl magic in action because Contessa has experience with her father doing drugs as an addict, and she wants to be able to help people because she feels like if maybe her father had somebody who had the same aggression in trying to help people like she does, maybe she would have had a better childhood. But every time I see Contessa nowadays, it's just her story is just sad because Jackie brings up the counseling situation, which her and her husband, I think his name is Scott, are supposed to be doing to get their marriage back on track. And Contessa is talking about how she's still holding a grudge from when he didn't support her when she decided to go back to school. And I'm thinking, Contessa, I thought you guys addressed this already. Why are you holding on to it? When you're in a marriage, holding a grudges can be a problem. My husband and I discussed this already. Holding grudges can be a problem in a marriage. Contessa, let it go. Now, I understand her also saying that she felt like he forced her to leave the military or to leave the Navy because he said, I'm not going to be traveling no more. And she left again to please her family. What I'm seeing now is a pattern of Contessa holding resentment towards him for the decisions that she chose to make herself. I think that you need to go to counseling. I personally, Contessa, deal with those grudges and then pursue counseling with you and your husband because he don't seem like he even thinks there is a problem. He don't even think he needs counseling. And a lot of Black people don't think that I did counseling. I needed it. It helped me find my peace. And girl, you need to go back so you help you find your peace so maybe you can now peacefully address your husband and the issues that you have. Then we get to Mariah adjacent Anila's house, and her grandparents are arriving from Savannah, Georgia. Her mom brings all the food, and I want some. And her mom also says that she says to the kids that came to greet her, which was so cute, your father does plastic surgery. He needs to fix me too. She wants plastic surgery so bad, and she's making sure that she's gonna let it known over and over again until she gets what she wants. So we see that, and then Anila tells us a story of her dad in 1972 coming into the country to go to school at Virginia Tech, and now having to go back to India, do an arranged marriage situation where he had a lineup of beautiful girls, and he decided he's gonna pick her mom, and the first thing he tells her is, can you vacuum? Now, I don't know, my husband vacuums. I don't know, you're not finna marry me for me to come and vacuum for you, but it was cute to hear the story, and I thought it was nice that he chose her, and that's like a nice romance story because here they are happy with two daughters now visiting their grandchildren. Now, they're celebrating Rocky, a bond between a brother and her sister. And Anila says that they didn't have Rocky for her because she had a sister, not a brother. I'm like, well, damn, y'all need to come up with a celebration to where you can have a bond with a sister and a sister. It doesn't have to be just a sister and a brother. Then Dr. Kieran comes home and he's instantly aggravated. He sees food in front of his house. He sees shoes everywhere. He sees a mess. And he comes home from work and he knows that the grandparents are here. And he's already immediately ticked off. And he's like, nobody cares, I'm home. Then Anila's mama takes the time to say, hey, you need to fix me. You do plastic surgery, fix me. And Dr. Kieran did what I would do. There is no way in hell I would do any surgery or any kind of work on a family member unless it's a must or an emergency. Why? Because plastic surgery is tricky. What if I fucked up her nose? What if I fucked up her mouth? What if I fucked up her brow? Hell, what if I made her look older than she already does as a grandparent? And I have to sit up there for the rest of my life and think about how horrible of a surgeon I was. The entire family, hell, even in India, might find out. So I'm gonna do what he did. I've been working for 10 years. I need more practice before I touch you. And by the time he gets enough practice, she's going to be in the grave. He's not going to do anything to her. He's not going to change her. He's not going to do nothing. He don't even want to touch that. That's what it is. Now we have Toya's house with the kids. And Toya is frustrated that she has to do e-learning with her kids because there might be connection issues. The children might have problems with, whatever, keeping up with their work. And she says that they're behind because they're not in school and they're homeschooled. No, they're behind, girl, because you as Toya, you're spending 2-3 hours playing tennis when your ass should have been at home making sure your kids are keeping up with their work. All you have to do, Toya, is make sure these kids keep up with their work. You got 2-3 hours of tennis. You're the reason why they're behind. Toya's complaining is getting on my nerves because she's starting to sound like a nagging wife and it's irritating as hell. Eugene comes home and she's talking about complaining. She spent all these hours at work. She's now coming home and has to listen to her whine about it, and he's the one cooking. So he's cooking and she's talking about how what if there's 4 or 5 childs? Toya, there is no such thing as a plural version of children where they call it childs. In fact, it reminded me of a video that I watched by a YouTuber. Y'all can check him out. It's called Big Jaw. That's a plug for you. And he did this thing called The Whole Crew is Stupid. And they were trying to figure out the plural word for house and mouse. The crew trying to be stupid, talking about, no, it's mousesses. No, it's housesses. Toya sounded just like them when she said that, what about if there's 4 or 5 childs? And her children, who are intelligent, caught that she got the language wrong, the English language wrong in her, whatever she was trying to do, she got it wrong. And they talked about it, and Toya and Eugene addresses it, and Toya decides to now piggyback off of, now she's not complaining about the school, she's gonna complain that the children are, Eugene is taking the kid's side, and the kids are always taking their dad's side, not commending the child for having the sense and the intelligence to correct her grammar. Toya needs to just shut up. She says, oh, we just can't have peace. No, bitch, you can't have peace. You're the one that keeps whining about every damn thing. Then we have Mariah and Jason and Anila calling Toya, trying to put her up to fix her relationship with Contessa. And I'm thinking this storyline again. Anila, you're new. You haven't been in this show. You don't know the depth of the drama that has occurred between Toya and Contessa, who came in initially as friends. You do not need to insert yourself. You are not going to be here to fix it, because I know you like Toya, but Contessa don't like Toya. Girl, back up. Then we have Quad. Miss Quad. She is back, and she goes to Heavenly's house. And the first thing she says is, I don't know why the hell Heavenly has 3 stories for her closet. Shit, I don't know either, because her fashion does not need 3 stories. And Quad says, not that I'm saying that all dentists can't dress, but this dentist can definitely not dress. Then Heavenly asks Quad, have you been dating? And Quad, have you been having sex? Quad says, I've been dating, no sex, which is a full-faced lie. Quad likes penis, and she has toys in her drawer to prove it. She is dating these men, and there is no way in hell you can convince me that Quad is not getting that ass tapped by some of these men. Now, is she gonna marry them if they don't have money? Now that's another question. Then Heavenly makes a crack when Quad asks her, have you had sex with certain people? And Heavenly tried to say that Daddy is the only person that she slept with. Bitch, bye. You said yourself that you trapped Daddy. You had to go in there and turn tricks and then some to get Daddy to get trapped, girl. You have slept with multiple people outside of Heavenly, outside of Daddy. So don't stop lying, Heavenly. Then Heavenly decides to ask about Toya. Quad says, Toya and I are cool. Toya's great. We're friends. Heavenly already had the video on standby with her messy ass of Toya talking bad about Quad in the house that she, in her little apartment. And she says, why aren't you going to see this video? Heavenly is going to target Toya this entire season because she feels like Toya came out to her at Daddy's birthday party. So she shows Quad a video of Toya. I saw the video. Toya was drunk, talking shit about Quad's apartment. And the first thing the Quad does now is decide to tell all Toya's business that she feels like she knows. She says that Toya begged, borrowed, and stole to buy her house. And in addition to taking the house loan, she herself also, baby, she also borrowed $100K from in addition to the house, to go ahead and set up this damn pool. And I'm like, well, damn, Toya, you already have Eugene working all these hours. You coming home complaining. You ain't even gonna work and help him. Yes, you get these Bravo checks, but child, you had to take a $100,000 loan to get a pool without even paying off the house in the first place. Toya is getting her ass back into debt. They just paid off their tax lien, and she gonna get up there and get themselves into more debt, and she don't care if she spend the money before it's made. And that was how Quad told her business, and that was that scene. And freaking Heavenly is gonna say, well, I thought you already knew. No, girl, she didn't, because you had the video on standby to play in front of her, messy ass. Then we had Anila's party come up, and Toya sees Contessa, and she already sees red immediately. She already has issues. She's already bad-mouthing the headpiece that Contessa has on her head as a problem. And Toya and her decide to not, even communicate like that. Simone goes in her confessional and says that the only reason Toya has a problem with Contessa is because Contessa does not respect her, and those are facts. Contessa does not respect Toya because she does not work. She's not a doctor. She doesn't comprehend a lot of things that they go through. She's at home whining, and we see her on TV disrespecting Eugene and seem like she's selfish as hell. So Contessa does not respect Toya. That's a guaranteed fact. Then Anila decides to address the situation. And I know Mariah is over there pissed off in her house, punching walls because she's seen Anila display everything about her Indian culture. Meanwhile, they didn't get that on Bravo when she was showing up Aiden's Indian culture when it was her. So that little bitterness is there. They get into a huge fight. They start cussing in front of Anila's mama's house, Anila's parents, cussing like they don't have grown folks there, being disrespectful as hell. Contessa said, I don't want to have a conversation with somebody who wants to war with me. That's just not something I want to be doing. She gets up to leave, and Anila and her mom decides to get in her face and not let her leave. That was a cue to let the heifer leave. She needs to go. You don't need to be sitting up here forcing her to have a conversation with her damn enemy, her arch nemesis. Let her go. And then when she leaves finally and they're in her car, Contessa's going off talking about, this is insanity. I can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and have a different result. This girl and I don't like each other. Eugene says what I'm thinking. These bitches don't like each other. Let them go. And that's how the episode ends. I like this episode. I like that Contessa and Toya are over here bringing the drama with us. I like that Anila is on the show, but I wish Mariah was still on the show. Let me know what y'all think about this review and this episode. You guys going to have a good rest of your day. I have to get back to work. Bye.